Well, right now we're going to talk about Cityhop, which is cars by the hour. It's almost like a car share club, and it's in Auckland and Wellington, and also other parts of the country as well. And one of the creators of it is Victoria Carter. She's the founder, in fact, of Cityhop, and has previously served as a councillor for Auckland City Council, and currently sits on the board for the New Zealand Thoroughbred Racing, and is a director of Juicy Rentals. I think everyone recognises Juicy Rentals by now as well. Victoria, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the Cityhop, how long has it been around for?
We were launched by then Prime Minister Helen Clark in August 2007. We had 3 cars, and since then we've grown to just under 25. Okay,
and it's not an area obviously you're very passionate about, because as a councillor you dealt quite a lot with Auckland City Transport and trying to solve our infrastructure problems when it comes to transport.
Well, one of the things that I think that we all recognise is that if we want to live in a really nice city and be, the Mercer study number 3, we can't keep adding cars to it.
Yeah.
And we need to look at other alternatives and have a really good public transport system, trains, ferries, walking, biking.
A city rail loop, maybe,
all
one day.
All of those things. Things that make it easy to move about without a car. But the reality is that any city, sometimes you need a car to either go and get your groceries or go and visit your mum.
Yeah.
Or we had one customer who had one car, and once a week he'd hire our car for our cheaper overnight rate, and he'd go off to the gym after he dropped his daughter off at a flute lesson.
Right.
So it's just rethinking the way that we move about.
It's an idea that has been in other parts of the world for a wee while now.
Started in Germany in about over 35 years ago.
Wow, yeah.
Europe's very... they've really caught on to the fact that cars don't make a livable city. I did a blog about 6 weeks ago on this amazing traffic jam somewhere in Denmark, and it's all bikes. And the bikes are going left, right and centre, and the cars are the ones that don't have the right-of-way.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's one extreme.
That's the goal one day, really, isn't it?
Well,
the cars to come secondary to everything else?
Certainly it would make our streets safer for children.
Yeah, okay. So it's okay. Europe, but also America. They do this in California.
Some backpackers saw it in Germany and thought, "Wow, what a great idea!"
Yeah,
and took it back to the States. And America's got over 20 different car share companies. The most successful and the largest would be Zipcar, that listed on the American Stock Exchange earlier this year.
Yeah,
vastly oversubscribed and hugely successful. And Zipcar would easily be the world's biggest, with over 500,000 car share members. And they took over Streetcar, which was the English car share company, last year.
So how does this differ from a normal car rental service?
It's got a number of really significant differences. For a start, we're a club. Most people don't tend to treat their car share car like they do a rental car. People tend to trash the rental car. But if you do that to the car share car, it's inconvenient to the next member, so you'll get fined. The other significant difference is that we've got locations or car parks dotted around the city, whereas a rental car model, traditionally, you go and pick it up from one location.
Yeah, traditionally the airport, yeah.
Yep, and you can take it back to a different location. With car share, you take it back to the same spot. So we've got a car park just outside here in College Hill.
Yeah.
And if a member wanted to come and use it, then they could do it for an hour or for 24 hours, and then they return it to that spot.
Now this car park, even just here locally near Kiwi FM, is a significant step, isn't it? The
huge step for car share. It's given us visibility, so people can now see how easy it is to live in the inner city and choose not to own a car.
So the council's gotten behind this idea of creating visible car parks for Cityhop.
That's right. Yep. No, we're really thrilled to have this partnership with Auckland Transport.
Okay. So it works. Do you have to go to an office to get the keys? I mean, what happens?
No. What happens? We try to do everything online. It's part of our sort of new generation business. You go online to cityhop.co.nz, sign up to be a member, and then we mail you what looks like a little credit card. And that card, once you've gone online and then booked your car from 2 till 3 or whenever you want it, turn up at the car, place the card on the windscreen, and the car doors unlock.
Wow.
The keys are there, and off you go.
Is this quite new technology?
It is quite new technology. It's been around for about 5 years. I guess that's not new in some people's eyes. But it's RFID technology. It's part of. I think it's what makes it kind of interesting and exciting and novel and different.
Yeah.
Being able to give somebody something that, wow, magic.
I mean, it
now
feels
in the car.
feels like something you'd experience in San Francisco. You know, a technology-based sort of city, doesn't it?
Yep. There's quite a few car share companies in San Francisco, probably the greenest part of America.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of friends up there that are helping us, and in Sydney, with getting our business to be better.
Apart from sharing cars, what are the other green credentials of Cityhop? I mean, are the cars efficient?
Our cars have all been specially chosen because they are fuel efficient. They've got very low CO2 emissions.
What are they? Are they all the same?
No, they're a mixture of Daihatsu Syrians, and they've got something like, I'm going to get really technical here, nano. I can't remember the word now. Take all the particulates and the exhaust and make them nice so that they don't quite pollute the air like a 10-year-old car might. And then the Mitsubishi iCar, and that's as fuel efficient as the Prius. We did look at electric cars, but they were just so expensive
at the moment, aren't they? Yeah.
And so the iCar is a good alternative to that.
That's probably the future, though. Little electric cars that you'd have these charging
Sydney's
stations.
got one, and they say there's still a lot of novelty factor around the electric car. But I have no doubt that if Auckland embraces car share, then ultimately we've got to put electric cars into the fleet.
Yeah. So. Okay, so you've got the swipe card, and you're part of the club. You're not always guaranteed the car's going to be there, though, are you?
That's why we have so many cars in different locations. So that if you can't get the car where you want it, we generally, certainly in the inner city, try to make sure there's another car park within 5 minutes walk. Oh, okay. So that it's easy, and the whole point of it is to make it really viable for people to not own a car.
You'd have a Cityhop app. Like an iPhone and Android
we're
app.
working on that. They've certainly car
and that will tell you where the cars are all the time.
Yeah, certainly one of the things that members have been asking us for, and it's when we find a really friendly venture capitalist that wants to give us a hand to grow a bit more, that's certainly one of the things on the list.
So the big news for you guys is that Auckland Transport are getting behind it, making it more visible. I suppose they're conscious that maybe the City Rail Loop is delayed, or that they have to be seen to be doing the right thing by
We've always
transport.
Felt we're not in competition with buses or trains. We are part of the mix to complement and make it easier for people who do use public transport to come into work, or who might need to dash home to go to the doctors, or to be able to have access to a car. The reality is that we know from all our research that if people seriously looked at how often they really needed to use their car,
not that often.
And certainly when they then did the maths around how much having that very flash piece of metal in the driveway, just in case I need to go somewhere.
Can you go out of town on it?
Yes, you can. Yeah, no problems with that.
So I need to head up to Matakana for the night or something?
Plenty of people do that. Take a car for a weekend, Friday night till Sunday night.
Because we haven't talked costs. What are we talking about here?
We're $15 an hour, and then that's capped at $75 for 24 hours.
Okay, so that's competitive against a
it's
car
certainly
rental,
very competitive. Yeah.
And
a lot cheaper than a taxi.
So how does the technology work? So it knows to debit something against your account?
We invoice you at the end of the month and send you an email.
Is that because once you've swiped it on the car, it sends a signal back to...
That would be terrific if our technology was that sophisticated. I would love that.
Yeah.
No, when you go online and make the booking, then that we make a note. We've got a system that...
Okay, so that's a step we didn't talk about. You do book online. So you're part of the club, but you also go book online, then go pick up the car with the swipe card. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. All right. Well, we've got a bit of a deal, though, don't we?
We do indeed. Yeah.
Tell us about this.
Well, we're to celebrate the fact that we're now on street. We've got a special offer that we'd love to extend to your listeners. If they join up to Cityhop in the month of December, they will get one free driving hour that has to be used in the month of December.
Cool.
To get them into the habit of thinking about whether they really do need a car.
Yeah.
Something that I'll just quickly add is that once people join car share, they tend to reduce their driving by 50%, because you start to think about packaging up your journeys. I'll go to the dry cleaners. I'll drop in and pick up those things. So
do it all
your
once a
driving
week or
habits,
something.
Your driving habits really change.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Well, that's very cool. So the website is cityhop.co.nz. You're on Facebook and Twitter as well, so people can ask questions.
Yeah, we've got lots of sustainable ideas. We think it might make quite a good Christmas present if you've got some greenie friends who keep talking about wanting to change their habits. Give them a membership to Cityhop.
Auckland, Wellington, and some in Christchurch as well. Very cool. Victoria Carter from Cityhop, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Glenn.